I'm not gonna hold y'all. This is might been Shannon Sharpe's best interview. That's the title that's been saying. I don't know if y'all been watching. If y'all done already viewed Club Shay Shay. They had Terry Crews is on Shannon Sharpe's Club Shay Shay podcast, and he done interviewed Terry Crews. Now, Terry Crews is an interesting individual as he is probably if when you look at him, let's just say you just look at him and you never met him before, and you look at him, he's 6'3", about 250, all muscles. You would think he is the most intimidating, most badass motherfucker you will ever meet. Like that motherfucker is just intimidating looking. Like you would have never. But when you talk to him, he's probably the sweetest, nicest, funniest dude you will ever meet in your fucking life. That's the thing about Terry Crews and him as an individual. And that's just him in a nutshell. Now, I have always been a fan of Terry Crews, but there's times where even I admit that he gets a little minstrel showish. I don't want to call him a coon, but he does get a little minstrel showish. Sometimes he says stuff, and then you're like, what the fuck? Like the whole black supremacy thing. If anyone remembers the whole black, like I've gotten on Terry Crews on this channel before, but I always love Terry Crews ever since I seen him in Friday After Next. I know he was in Training Day. He didn't really have a speaking role, and but for everybody doesn't know you anybody black who was seeing Friday After Next, you know him as Damon from Terry. Like before, like people knew his full name Terry Crews, they was calling him Damon. And then you see him on White Chicks, Malibu's Most Wanted, and then other stuff. And he's a funny guy. And most people's like muscles aren't funny. Like you would look at Terry Crews, you would think action star or something like that. Like he'd be a great action star. In which I still think he probably would be a great action star, but I think he just loves comedy and loves making people laugh. So, and you know what? It fits him. He like anytime he is in a scene, he steals a show. You're going to remember him for something. Every time I see him in a movie, and the role may not be big, it might be minute. You're going to remember Terry Crews in that role. He will make you laugh in that role, or he might have the funniest moment in the movie, like he did in fucking Friday. Friday After Next. You could say he had some of the more funnier roles. White Chicks definitely had one of the funniest. The Making My Way Downtown, Walking Fast, and, all that other stuff. Like every movie that he's in, he's like he will still the show. I remember him and Addison with the blending, and he played the African and all that other stuff. He was funny in that. Terry Crews is a funny individual. Now, like, why do I say minstrel? Because I don't know. It's just like it was the shit with Gabrielle Union, and sometimes like I get it that sometimes you look at yourself as an entertainer, you want to be entertain the masses and all that other stuff, and then like you think uh someone as a 6'3" big ass nigga, you would think no one would fuck with you or and all that other stuff, but it seems like he's grateful for it seemed like he will never turn down a role, but even then there's sometimes we I feel like there are roles that I feel like is demeaning to him, but he will take it. But like, and one thing is it's just like I feel like there are roles that I don't want to say emasculate, but I feel like he shouldn't have took that role. Maybe he shouldn't have took that role. Now, but that's depending on how you feel about it or not. Um, let's say because I remember Godfrey and I forgot dude's name, but they was talking about him and the Honey Nut Cheerios. I think he was doing Honey Nut Cheerios, and it was like that role felt kind of cool. And then like even then Godfrey, anybody seen that video of Godfrey? He is like he making fun of Terry Crews with the like that's but that's how I think that's how most black men feel about Terry Crews. Yeah, he's super funny. He could be he could be a little minstrel show ish, but is but he is a funny dude. He's a phenomenal actor. He's a very talented dude. I know a lot of black men. The whole thing about him getting groped, and including myself, because even I said, and I still stand on it. But but in hindsight, he did the right thing. Like he did the right thing. Like because any other black man, you wouldn't know. Like a white man grope you like that, you fucking knock him the fuck out. Now, obviously, the guy got fired, and they gave him his money back and all that other stuff. So Terry Crews, he did the right. He honestly, he did the right thing, and I think I said that too. It's just like he hit him where it really hurts, the wallet, because I think even because Terry Crews, even though I wanted Terry Crews to hit the nigga. He was right. If I'd have hit that man, and that man is a very powerful man, that'd probably ruin his career. So in hindsight, like, because like even I can admit I was wrong about that because, like I said, he did the right thing. But Terry Crews was. I will say this: at least he named names. He was like he named that guy. He's like, I want that guy out, and he spent all of his money, and he spent his own money just to do that. And yet, it didn't hurt his career because he's still on America's Got Talent. And that shit with him and Gabrielle Union, where she was like, there was some racism. He was just like, I didn't see no racism, and all that other stuff. And it's just like, you didn't need to, like, even if you didn't see no racism, it was like they probably didn't treat you like they treated Gabby. And I think that's what a lot of people were saying. It's just like you could have easily said and like still kept your. It's like I'm pretty sure like what happened with Gabby, it happened in Gabby. It's like I haven't seen it, but I don't think Gabrielle Union is lying either. Like you didn't have to throw Gabrielle Union under the bus. I think that's what a lot of people had a problem with that one because it seemed like he threw Gabrielle Union under the bus. It seems like he was just trying to save his job or some shit like that. So yeah, those and then the whole black supremacy thing. Like when he was talking about Black Lives Matter, and I know some people have their views about Black Lives Matter and all that other stuff, but it was just like black when he said that tweet about black supremacy, I was like, Terry Crews, what the fuck are you talking about? So those so in short, those are the things that like why I feel like he could be a little minstrel show. Like he could like he tries too hard to appease to white folks and all that other stuff. That's just my opinion. It's just I could be wrong about that. But watching this interview with him and Shannon Sharpe, and I'm not gonna lie, I think because I know a lot of people are gonna say Cat Williams had the best interview. There's some people that's gonna say Monique had the best interview because it filled with so much drama, and a lot of people ate off those two interviews, especially Cat Williams one. That was like the big talk, and like Cat Williams was naming names, but this one, I feel like in hindsight, this is his best interview. Like, because it shows a lot of things, and because on a personal level, it showed a lot of things that he talked, especially what he's talking about. Because I'm almost through with the whole thing, and but like 3, 4, I'm like 8 tips and to the eight tips into the whole interview because it's like 2 hours long and some shit like that. 2 hours and 15 minutes long. So I'm about 8 tips in. Like I'm literally like 20 minutes. Anyway, but like going through this is just like he knew that like football, like sometimes you're like stuck in a monotonous or place where you don't want to be and you feel like your calling is this and you're looking at a man that chased his dreams and he achieved them. And he did that with a supportive family in this. The one thing you will hear him mention most is his wife. And this is where I feel like, um as a man, is like, especially if you're a man looking for a woman, is just like, you can tell like what type of woman you have if the man is bragging about you when you're not there. Like the many times he's mentioned his wife throughout this whole 2 hour thing, you can take a shot. Let's just say if you take a shot every time you mention his wife, you'd be drunk or you would have died of alcohol poisoning. But it's sweet. I like that. I don't want that to be misconstrued. I like that he talked about his wife because you could tell his wife is an integral part of him maturing, and like she rode with him throughout thick and thin. They've been married for 34 years. And like he even talked about how like through his 20th years he thought that they wasn't going to make it. And like he gets real deep about his wife. Like his wife is a real rider. Like I feel like what a lot of men look for, Terry Crews got that in him, and he knows that. Like he got himself a rider, and like he does whatever he can to like make her happy and all that. And I find that real sweet. Like he got a rider that she believed in him, and like this is a man that been in the NFL, and like he's played with some of the greats. He was a journeyman, but the fact that he made it to the NFL, that tells you something. So it's just like he wasn't but you could tell he was like football. He never really, and he admitted like he never really like put his all into football. Like it's just like it was just something to do. He just never put his all into football. He was more of an artist. Like he wanted to be an artist. He wanted to do movies and Hollywoods and all that other stuff. So like when he got his and and he did that. Like he talked about like seeing like being a security guard for Ice Cube's car and all that stuff. Next thing you know, he's in a movie with Training Day with Denzel Washington. As you can tell, that's like his first movie. And then next thing you know, he just boom, opportunities after opportunities after opportunities, and he's just taking them. And not only that he's taking them because he has so much passion in that he is excelling. It's like he's just and he's soaking it all in. You can tell like in this interview that he is a very humble man. He's and which is another thing about him talking about all his achievements. He's just like, yo, who gets this? Like he's like even talk about it, he's amazed. It's just like, dog, who gets this opportunity? Like just to do this. When people come up and they say they wrote this stuff especially for you, and then like you're like, can I be in this movie? It's like hell yeah. Who like he was talking about how like Eddie Murphy and Charlie Murphy wrote a scene that was especially for him and Noah. But he was like, "Do you like to be in the movie?" He's like, "Hell yeah!" He's just like, and you can tell like the humbleness and the graciousness. He mentions like Tashina Arnold, and he was talking about how he gave Tashina Arnold his flowers. He gave Cat Williams his flowers. He gave Ice Cube his flowers, and you could tell he was grateful. He was humble, and it's just like he's happy to be in. And you could honestly, you could tell that everything he does because he does give it his all, and you could tell he's like one of those dudes. He's easy to work with, and also it shows that muscles can be funny because there's a whole thing about muscles can't be funny, and then you look at Terry Crews, big ass nigga pop locking. You don't never see niggas with muscles move like that. So niggas, big ass niggas pop locking. You seen in White Chicks when he was doing the joint with the whistles and all that other stuff. Like Terry Crews made himself funny. So but it's a very enlightening interview. Also, another thing about this that I like that he did take accountability. Like, because they did mention the shit with Gabrielle Union, the whole thing with Black Lives Matter, and even like all the other stuff he took accountability for. He he owned up to it. I like the fact that he owned up to it. It's just like he took accountability. He was just like sometimes, like even then, he was like, "My wife's like, you shouldn't have said that. You should have just talked about it." He's like, "When I'm Terry Crews and all the other stuff," he's like, he learned not to listen, and then sometimes you just don't need to put your voice in things. You need to shut up. Um, in other words, choose your battles. this is if you know, and that's I mean, you can learn to me what makes this interview the best one out of all the Cat Williams and the Monique one, because I feel like as a man you can learn a lot. And as a man, if you got ambitions, like even with the Desi Banks thing, like he's talking about, chasing his dreams, but this one is just like if the opportunity is there, he's not. And then he said something real interesting because he was like they mentioned like Terrence Howard, he only got paid like 12K for Hustle and Flow and all the other stuff. He was just like, and he and you could tell he learned his lesson because he could have thrown Terrence Howard under the bus, but he didn't. He said, "I agree and I understand where he's coming from." He's like, but there is a saying, and um he gave Terrence not only gave him his flowers, but he was like to what Terrence Howard was saying. He was like, "Oh no, he's right about that." But he said, "But there's also a thing like my people say, just like don't nod yes and mean no." It's just like so. He's just like if you is like everything that he talked about in his contract. If he knew he was getting only like 4,000, like he knew that, but he knew that this was going to be. He'll take it anyway off of opportunity and passion. It's like the money's going to come, but the passion, just doing it, taking advantage of this. So he was just even then he was explaining about the Expendables, about he wasn't even the first person he was mentioned. It was like Wesley Snipes, and then it was just like Forrest Whitaker, and then all of a sudden they got to Terry Crews. It was just like, yeah, and he was talking about how he got the Old Spice commercial. And now everybody's in all the celebrities are in Old Spices now. Where he was just like, he was doing the Old Spice, and anybody that's watched Terry Crews in an Old Spice commercial, you done see it. Oh, the block of power, block. My favorite one, block, 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 block. Like it was very like random and shit, but it's Terry Crews again. Like I to me, like Terry Crews is one of my favorite actors and all the other stuff, and I feel like it's just that sometimes he do like I said he can be Mr. Show ish, and then but I do have to say this. I know like you gotta be comfortable with being laughed at. There's times where and I feel like a lot of people, especially with black people, we don't like we like when you laugh with us, but we don't like it when you laugh at us. Which is why I feel like the dress thing is a problem to most people. But because like obviously you put a man in a dress, they're laughing at you because you look ridiculous. Terry Crews is not afraid to be laughed at, and I feel like that's where like why he's so easy to work with or dependable to work with, and also he's not afraid to try shit either. Like he was on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire in the daytime show. He did another one where he was like, yeah, no one watched these things, but he was just I wanted to learn how to host. So he was also not afraid to like try new shit and try new opportunities. Where the point was just like when you don't see me, it's like you wouldn't see Terry Crews there. I want you to put him there. It's like he take like Terry Crews is a man that took a chance on himself and like he succeeded. So like it's good. Like it's very inspiring. And then also he talks about uh other things where him and his father, which to me is sad because it's just like his father, he was on America's Got Talent, and his father's calling him up talking about you ain't gonna be shit, and it's just like he said he had to shut that down. So only way he talked to him was through another person, and it's just like damn, it was just why why it's just why would you damn your own father like I couldn't imagine. Like I really couldn't imagine. But I feel like there was something else that I wanted to that I thought about in this interview. But I don't know. It'll probably come back to me. Overall, I do. It was like if you would have asked me what was his best interview, I think this is the one. and it's almost hitting 1 million views. So obviously people are interested. So but is it going to touch? Obviously, is it going to touch Cat? No, I don't think nothing's going to touch Cat Williams. And I think a lot of people still going to feel like Cat Williams is his best interview. I think a lot of people's going to think Monique is his best interview, and those were great interviews too. Those were very very great interviews. But I feel like this one is his best interview to date. And shout outs to Shannon Sharpe because you're like Seamus now. Banger after banger after banger after like Shannon is on a roll. He is on a roll. So I like nothing but love and appreciation for you, brother, because you are really doing a damn thing. And shout out to Terry Crews. It's like um uh, because I still like he's still one of my favorite. I feel like he's still someone to look up with. I think that's what I was talking about. How other black men view him too. I think the way I view him, a lot of other black men done viewed him like that too. Like Terry Crews is a phenomenal actor, but he can be a little Mr. Showist. This, which is why the um, Godfrey did the whole little thing that I already spoke about that, but I think a lot of black men feel like same thing with like he got groped because it's just like, dog, you 6'3" with muscles, you got muscles, use them, and that's how DL Hughley was just like, yo, you got muscles, use them. But I done talked about that too. I don't want to repeat myself. It's just he did the right thing. He instead of fighting with his fist, he fought with his brain, and it like obviously it worked in his favor. I so but yeah, I think I'm just babbling on. Let me know what y'all think. How y'all if y'all watched the interview, do y'all think this is his best interview? If not, what do you think is Club Shay Shay or Shannon Sharp's best interview? Let me know in the comment section. Till then, my name is Mosquito Fly, and I am out. Peace.